You thought you found love, and then it ended. He was happy, you were happy, things were going so well, and then he left. Today, we're talking about why, when a breakup happens and your heart is broken, after 50, it hits different. Older men process love and heartbreak differently. Today, we're talking about the 5 steps of a broken heart and recovery. And then we have a quiz at the end where you can interact and answer to see where you are with your heartbreak and how you've recovered. Today we're talking about all of that. I'm Frank Schneider, my friends call me Fritz, and this is Daddybear America. When a man over 50 loses love, it's not about starting over anymore. It's about finding ground that you can stand on. If you enjoy content like this is a great moment to suggest to you, go down in the control panel down below, click the subscribe button. We're coming out with new material on Tuesdays and Fridays just for you. And while you're down there, click the like button. It helps distribute our video to the algorithm. It's super helpful. If you want to help directly infuse revenue, a little bit of money to help me write new fresh scripts on a weekly basis just for you, click the join button. It's about the price of a cup of coffee, and it really helps out the channel. All right, now let's get back into the topic that we're talking about today, heartbreak. So after heartbreak, there is a loneliness phase. The initial shock has worn off. You're now coming to the realization things have ended, and your heart is most definitely very broken. But now what's setting in is the realization of loneliness and that extreme loss. The fact that you are doing your daily routines and they feel hollow, and you are most definitely alone, even around friends, even around family, there is something missing. You wonder, was I too hard to love? Is there something wrong with me? Did I do something so wrong in my relationship that caused this man to leave me? You wonder, is it too late for me? Am I getting too old? If you're 50, it might be a thought that occurs to you in your 60s or 70s, even more so. Will I ever find love again? So this feels like isolation because in a way it is. And you are alone in this moment. But this is not failure for you. This is recalibration. And while older men aren't used to this idea, this is a 20s and 30s type thing where recalibration is happening very frequently in your life. Older men are just not used to this feeling. It's very jarring. But the good news is you've been through it before. It might have been a long time ago, but you can do this again. Recalibration is possible. Loneliness occurs in men more than women, and it's extremely prevalent in our society. But we can work past this. Once we've gone through the realization of loneliness, and you sort of get to hang out in this, and it hurts for a while. Of course, inevitably, this will trigger reflection. And in reflection is where growth starts. Heartbreak is a mirror. It shows you things that you didn't want to see, and possibly things that weren't there. The love that you thought was occurring maybe wasn't the way that you felt it. And that hurts. In times of heartbreak or talking about heartbreak, I often refer back to my relationship with George, a reoccurring theme on this channel and in my real life. Now, granted, I triggered that heartbreak. I left. But that was a 5-year relationship, and George was extremely close to me, and I was extremely close to him. So in leaving, I was left with a number of questions about that relationship and where it left me. Now, I was in my early 30s processing this heartbreak, so it's much different when you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s. But it'll trigger the same questions for you. Ultimately, once you have a little bit of reflection, time to look back, you have time to ask yourself, what did this relationship teach you? This is a good moment to introduce the pattern spotting exercise. Pattern spot. Now, when I refer back to George, I didn't have much experience in long-term relationships. He was basically the only one I had ever had. But given a little distance from the heartbreak and the breakup, it now allowed me to look at myself in that relationship and see what, as a person, I was seeking from another person. And also maybe some of the flaws that I had in that relationship that I wasn't able to spot previously in other short-term relationships. Maybe the idea that I was seeking something in George and that he was imperfect to what I was seeking. So I was seeking a stable father figure, but at that point in my life, I was young, and I was also seeking dynamics and energy and change. And these are things that George could not offer. So it's an example of a conflict in my dating and relationships. Now, as I would get older, my wants and needs would change, but it's at least a good example of reflection to look back on a relationship and see where there was a misalignment of needs and wants, and how George did fit some of those, but didn't fit other aspects of them. It also shows that I, as a person, am changing, and equally, you, as a person, in your relationships and after your relationships, you are changing. In pattern spotting, you might say, or I would say about my previous relationships, with George, I was seeking, yes, a father figure, of course, but also that stability that I refer back to, that balance, and those are going to be constant themes in my relationships. And there are aspects where George could meet up to some of those because they were realistic and he was that person. But there were also some unrealistic desires that I had of George that he could never meet, and that would never be possible with him. That would trigger my, the ultimate breakup. I'd like to do a quick thank you at this moment to Mr. Rivera. He made a large PayPal donation to this channel. That helps me write fresh material for you guys on a weekly basis. Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Now let's get back to the program. Emotional recovery isn't linear. There are ups and downs in the process. 2 steps forward, 4 steps back, then 5 steps forward. It can feel a little bit like a roller coaster, and some days you feel better than others. Some weeks are better than others. It's important to find your relationship with more stable features of your life, friendships, or creative outlets that you might have, whether it might be painting or listening to music that you haven't listened to in a while, that trigger nostalgic thoughts about who you are. It's really important to remember who you are. This great person that you've spent a lifetime creating is not gone, but you must learn how to reorient with that person you were. It's a bit like learning to walk again after you had a bad injury. Once you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, it's no longer about needing love, but wanting to share love with another person. And once you get your heart in the place where you are ready to share again, rather than needing, you'll know your recovery has begun. As we've referred back to our previous video, at 50, we are no longer seeking validation. At this point in our lives, we really want peace and stability. After a period of reflection and healing and reclaiming confidence, you are ready to reopen to love. This process takes a bit of time, and there's a lot of pain, and, as we metaphorically referred to, relearning how to walk, and you're guarded at this point because you've been hurt. This is all a normal reaction. Sometimes it's possible to meet somebody and really throw yourself at them, and it's important to recognize that these oftentimes signal a rebound relationship. And, well, my personal experience is after a really deep heartbreak, it took me about a year to a year and a half to really feel open to somebody again. In the meantime, I was definitely open to affection of different sorts and a sexual connection, but I might have opened myself up too early, and that would have signaled a rebound. And that wasn't genuine openness to love. So when you're open to love, it's not something that you need. It's something that you're open to sharing again. And it's not an eager openness. It's really slowly opening the doors of your heart to the possibilities. So this isn't about replacing the love that you had lost or replacing the person that was in your life. And the healthy way to look at this is that you're really opening to the possibility of love again. And again, this is a slow process, and it's important you don't rush through this so that you don't make hasty decisions about who is in your life, and maybe this isn't the right person for you, this isn't the right time yet, and maybe you aren't ready yet. So pay attention to all of these signals. Love at this point in our lives isn't desperate. It's quite deliberate on our parts, and we choose it. So now, as promised, I'd like to take a few moments to present you with a quiz to see where you are in your healing process after a massive heartbreak. And this video will most likely hit you at different times for different people. So let's do a few questions to see where you're at in the healing process. Question number 1. I still think about him every day. And so when you're with somebody, of course, that's an easy, obvious yes. When you break up with him, that's still going to be a yes. And that's going to be a slow process towards a no. I didn't think about him yesterday. And I can refer back to, boy, when I broke up with George, holy cow. Literally for a year, it was every day that I thought about him and what we had and how much it hurt that we didn't have that anymore. Question number 2. I'm starting to enjoy small things again. This process varies from person to person, and it depends on the severity of the heartbreak. If this was a short relationship, you might get back to enjoying small things quicker. The show that you love to watch gives you a giggle. The crosswords in the morning that you do now feel joyful again. Going out to lunch or breakfast or dinner with a friend, you're able to set aside your feelings of heartbreak and really be in the moment and enjoy that evening or that breakfast. Question number 3. I'm ready to meet people again. It's important you don't rush into this, so be honest with yourself. If you're really honest about meeting with somebody again, it's not to replace the former love that you feel is missing. It's that you feel open to new opportunities, that you're feeling good about where you are in your healing process, and that you're legitimately not thinking about the person that you lost, that you're in a very neutral, solid place, and the person who is coming into your life will have a great opportunity to meet somebody who's not thinking about somebody else. Question number 4. I feel neutral when I see their name. So this is a tricky one depending on the person. There are people, when I see their name, I always feel like some bit of emotion just because of how important they were to me in my life. And this is going to vary from person to person depending on what they mean to you. But there are relationships where I see somebody's name and I feel virtually nothing. And those relationships, I've healed from them. Question number 5, the final question. I can talk about this person that broke my heart and have no pain. And this one for me, like thinking back on my most recent ex, which was, it was a while ago. So it was almost 15 years ago now. But there was a period of time where I still had some pain in there, and it was a year or two in the process. But I felt like after 2 years, there was really no pain associated with the name that signified to me that I had completely healed. Now, you can start dating in this process of this quiz. So you can start dating around question 3 if you're answering yes, that you've healed from this process in question 3. In question 5, if you can answer legitimately that you feel no pain from reading their name, from talking about them, you've moved beyond. And this is a great example that you've healed completely from a relationship that did, in fact, really break you for a period of time. This also shows your resilience as a person, as a human being, that you are ready to love again. If you've watched this video, then you've already started rebuilding. This is a great step. And it's a great opportunity for me to say, if you enjoy content like this, click the join button. It'll give you opportunity to see videos that I produce weeks ahead of the general public. It also gives you premium access to exclusive content that I'm releasing, that you get to see the deep inner structure of my relationship with Bill. I talk about past history in ways that I would never talk about on the public side of the channel. My relationship with my parents and friends and family, and a deep analysis of relationships in general. So, as always, click the subscribe button and click the like button as well, because it helps the channel. And you've watched till the end of this video, so hopefully you can give me a little sign of appreciation with the subscribe and like button. At this moment, I would like to thank my premium supporting members who have clicked the join button and helped to produce all of this material that we're watching on this channel, not to mention the equipment purchases that we were able to do because of the financial backing of my supporting members. Thank you so much for helping with this channel. Now, I have to get back to writing the next script for our next video, which I am going to be excited to present to you in just a few days. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace. I think that went well. All right.